With ever-tightening budgets, finding efficiencies and innovative solutions are a top priority for all county departments, including justice programs. Recently, we sat down with Tony Golik, Clark County Prosecuting Attorney, to hear how a low-level misdemeanor diversion program, along with other innovative measures, are helping keep costs in check.
Hello, I'm Jim Denman with Clark County Close-Up. Thank you for meeting with us.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Tony, before we start talking about the new initiatives, I believe our viewers would like to know first how you're doing. You recently reported that you came down with a type of cancer. Can you tell us how you're doing?
Sure, thanks for asking. I'm doing great. I'm glad to let you know. I went through all my treatment, chemo and radiation last fall and over the winter. And as you may have noticed, I have my hair back. I'm feeling just fine, and everything looks good. I think it was very fortunate to get caught at stage 1 and just working hard and feeling good.
Well, that's wonderful news.
Thanks.
Well, let's first talk about, for our viewers, what's the role of the prosecuting attorney?
So the prosecuting attorney in Clark County, our office, is in charge of prosecuting all cases that occur countywide, other than misdemeanors that happen in some jurisdictions like Camas or Vancouver, but all felony cases that occur countywide. So if a felony occurs in the city of Vancouver or out in La Center, Battleground, Washougal, any of those locations throughout all of Clark County, all of those cases from any of those investigative agencies all come to the Clark County Prosecutor's Office for prosecution. That's the lion's share of the work in the County Prosecutor's Office. The County Prosecutor's Office is also tasked with basically being the in-house counsel for county departments. So we have a civil department with 7 attorneys that give civil advice to county commissioners, legal advice, other department heads, and basically act as defense counsel also if the county gets sued in civil action. And also we have a non-support division that we have 6 attorneys there that's in charge of determining paternity actions and make sure child support is collected on those kind of cases. So all of the criminal cases countywide and civil cases also.
How large is your overall staff?
We have 99 people on staff, 43 attorneys and 56 staff members. Those attorneys are 30 of them in the criminal divisions handling all criminal cases, and the others are split between family law and civil division.
And what's your annual budget?
$7.9 million is the annual budget.
Okay. Now, you took office about 16 months ago. What have been some of your biggest challenges you faced in the prosecuting attorney's office?
Well, you know, obviously the first challenge was just a reorganization of the office. My predecessor, Art Curtis, was in office for 32 years, and he did, I think, a really excellent job in the prosecutor's office. I was fortunate to serve under him from 2000 until I took office. And we have, you know, a large dedicated staff that remains in the office. But there were some senior people that left just before or around the same time that Art did. So we had, you know, pretty significant overhaul of just, you know, deciding where everybody was going to be within the office. We actually left the civil divisions and the non-support divisions the same, but there was a lot of reorganization within the criminal division. So that obviously took a lot of time initially, but it was a smooth transition. You know, I came from within the office, and everybody else is still there. So that took a lot of time in the first months to get that done. We had it all in place within the first month, but it was a you know, a large undertaking.
Right.
And then since then, you know, what we wrestle with daily is just the kind of crush of cases that we deal with. Our major crimes unit filings have been up significantly over the last 2 years. Child abuse filings have been up over the last 2 years. Drug filings are up. Domestic violence filings are up. Those are all the, you know, really high impact areas of litigation in the prosecutor's office. We're doing more trials last year than we did the year before. And we're doing it with less staff. We had budget cuts in '09, and we have fewer prosecutors than we did before budget cuts that were hit by all departments countywide. So we're doing more with less, and that is a constant struggle, but it's one that we shoulder, and I think we're doing a good job.
Well, let's talk about some of these initiatives. Recently, you started offering the low-level misdemeanor diversion program. First of all, what's considered a low-level misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor offenses, the idea behind this diversion program is to give first-time low-level misdemeanants an opportunity to admit their conduct, go through whatever treatment would be necessary depending on their conduct, pay their way through the program, pay restitution if there is restitution, and at the end of a year-long program, if they successfully complete that whole program, then they end up with a dismissal at the end.
So it never ends up on their record?
That's the idea,
That's the
is
idea.
basically to give people a second chance. And your question was kind of who fits into that. And the idea is basically, the least serious crimes. So the ones that we're going to see probably the very most often would be your shoplifting crimes, petty theft cases, simple straight possession of marijuana cases. Those are going to be the ones that populate this new misdemeanor diversion program the most. We're not having DUI cases go in there. We're not going to have any serious fourth-degree assault cases. We might put some assault cases in there, misdemeanor assault cases, if they're like push and shove type cases, no serious injury. But it's basically going to be, like I say, mostly petty theft cases, misdemeanor theft cases, and like I say, misdemeanor marijuana, maybe drug paraphernalia cases. Those are the ones that are going to be in there mostly.
And then how do you kind of select the people or the cases?
So when a case comes in and we're able to look at their entire criminal history, and not just local criminal history, but their NCIC, national criminal history, and we determine the person has no criminal history at all. It's their first entry into the justice program or system, and it's one of these low-level, misdemeanors. Those are the kind of people that we're going to offer the diversion program to.
Okay. So why was this program put in place?
It seemed like the right thing to do. We've had a felony diversion program in Clark County for a long time. It's a long-standing program. It's been vetted, for many years and determined to be a good program to give people a second chance if they are deserving. And I took a look at the fact that, we've had this felony diversion program for such a long time, and it's been a winner program. Really made sense to give basically the same consideration to people that commit an even less serious offense than the person that commits a felony offense. So that was really my motivation for saying, hey, we need to do this on these kind of cases.
Now, how much will this program cost?
We're actually doing it completely with existing resources, and in fact, it will end up being a direct budget positive by doing it on misdemeanor cases also. Like I say, we've been doing it on felony cases. We have 2 diversion counselors and 1 staff person. And those same diversion counselors and staff person are going to shoulder the entire load of this misdemeanor caseload also. So there will be no additional costs at all for the program. And like I say, there'll be a budget positive because we're making these people pay the way to go through this program. The charge will be $260 per person to take advantage of the misdemeanor diversion. We anticipate about 500 cases per year. We run about 5,000 misdemeanor cases through. Looking at this, we anticipate about 10% would be eligible. So about 500 cases at $260 each, so about 130,000 budget positive coming into the system. We also anticipate there will be some downstream savings, less time in court, perhaps a little less incarceration time, a little less time in county jail. Not that these cases generally really end up with much jail time anyway, but a little bit less. And maybe a few less people would elect to get a public defender if we're able to offer this quickly, and also, of course, repaying their public defense expense is going to be required in this, so we anticipate probably a little higher reimbursement rate to the county there also. So a direct budget positive that's easy to calculate at about $130,000 a year to the general fund, and I think some downstream savings also will occur.
Good. Now, there are some who could claim that this is being considered as being soft on crime. What's your response to that?
I like to call it a smart on crime technique. I think those in law enforcement that know my work generally wouldn't call me soft on crime. But this, like I say, this is a smart on crime thing. We're basically saying these people have tripped up one time in their life, they've committed the lowest level of criminal offense that you can commit, and we're saying admit responsibility, take responsibility for what you've done, admit to it, go through a program, get treatment if it's appropriate, and then at the end of a year, go back into society without a criminal conviction so that they can go to school, get a job. And it also is a philosophy that we have, like I say, a finite number of prosecutors, a lot of crime coming in. We want to focus our efforts on violent crimes, drug dealers, sex offenders, murderers, that sort of thing. So we want to be tough on those, and we are tough on those. And like I say, take those valuable resources that we have in the office, shift them to the very most serious crimes, and give those other folks a chance where we think it's appropriate.
Are there any other initiatives you're looking at about this to help save costs?
Sure. Another one that is, again, kind of along the same lines is our drug court program. We've had a felony drug court program for over 20 years in Clark County, where an offender is allowed to go through a drug court, really intensive drug court treatment program to avoid incarceration time in county jail. They still end up, though, with a felony conviction at the end. One of the things that we've done is looked at that and said we need to try to incentivize people that are at the very bottom end of the kind of the drug offense spectrum, and give those people more incentive to go into that program rather than just going into county jail, spending 30 days in county, coming out and still being addicted. So for people that are charged with just a straight possession, not drug dealers, nobody else, just straight possession, and they have either no priors or 1 or 2 priors, so the range is 0 to 60 days, rather than just making a short offer of 30 days in jail, we're trying to incentivize those people, because I think those are the ones we really can affect change on the most to get them into a successful treatment program. So we're saying to those people, hey, if you're straight possession, 0, 1 or 2 priors, you can go to drug court and at the end get a dismissal on successful completion and not end up with a felony conviction. To, like I say, try to really give those people more incentive rather than have them just say, I'll just take that 30-day felony offer, go do 30 days in county, come out still addicted. So it's not saving the prosecutor's office any money, but the idea is we're not just looking at the prosecutor's office budget, we're looking at system-wide. And rather than have those people just keep reoffending and costing society money, we're trying to impact those people, get them out of the system, get them treated and on their way. So it is a budget issue, but it's a larger budget issue. And it's also just an attempt to do the right thing on those cases and get them where we think they should go.
Now, we only have about a minute left, but I quickly wanted just to talk about the Elder Abuse Justice Center. Could you just talk about why that was formed and the role?
Sure. Just very quickly, the Elder Justice Center is modeled off after the exact same model as our Children's Justice Center, where we have law enforcement, advocates, prosecutors, all working together on those very important cases and on child abuse cases. We've had that for 30 years in Clark County. We're doing the same thing now on elder abuse cases. We're doing it with existing resources. We have Adult Protective Service, dedicated detective, dedicated prosecutor, dedicated victim advocate, all working together on those important cases to make sure that those cases are handled appropriately. They're not just sort of cast throughout the system. They're being identified as, hey, these are important, we need to do the right thing on these cases, and so we're dedicating those resources. Myself, my partners in law enforcement are working together on those, and again, with existing resources, no effect on budget.
Okay. If people want more information about anything going on in the prosecuting attorney's office,
Well, they can call us at 397-2261 or go to our webpage at www.clark.wa.gov/PA.
all right. Well, thank you very much for meeting with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.